All right, this is going to be a video that answers a question that was left in the comments of another video. You can do that too. It sounds like fun. Give it a try. So the question was, I find myself wondering if you could make a video about how to distinguish among some articles. Specifically, I want to know the difference between I have a passport and I have my passport. Is there any difference between them, or are they totally used in the same way? Yeah, fair question, because both of these are grammatically correct. They both can be used, sort of interchanged, and there would be no error. The real difference is the meaning beneath it. If you say, I have a passport, then you're really stating a fact. It's a cold fact. You're saying a passport exists, and it's either near me or it's somehow under my control. This form normally matches a yes-no factual-based situation, like if you were answering a survey or a questionnaire, or if you were filling out a form. You would say, yes, I have a passport. That tells all the information that needs to be told in that situation because it was a yes-no question. But for the most part, you're wanting to attach different feelings to it. So you're going to say, I have my passport. And I've figured out 3 of what I think are the top most common reasons why you might say my. So number 1, this is the basic use of my that you almost certainly have learned in English school, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. This is like a child with a ball saying, this is my ball. It's not your ball, it's my ball. I get ownership over it. I get to choose what to do with it. It's distinguishing the difference. But let's move on to meaning number 2, which I think is quite interesting, and that's that this is important to me. When a speaker says, this is my blank, so this is my passport, you know that the speaker thinks that that thing is important. So let's say, for example, you are getting ready to leave your house to go on a trip with your mother. You're going to take your mother on a trip. You're very, very nice. So you're still at your home and you're checking in your suitcase to make sure that you've packed everything that you need for the trip. You might say out loud, okay, I have my passport. And in this case, you're emphasizing that you have your passport. And that's important to you because if you don't have your passport, let's say, for example, you packed your brother's passport accidentally. Well, if you don't have your passport, then you're not going to be able to get on the plane and you're not going to be able to go on the trip. So you know that it's actually very important that of all the passports to have, it's your passport. So when you're saying, I have my passport, you're sort of marking the fact that it's important. This is interesting. If you lived alone and you were packing and you were talking on the phone to somebody while you were packing and they would say, hey, how are preparations going? Do you have everything you need? You would say, yes, I know I have my passport. So even though you live alone and there's no chance that you would have somebody else's passport, it's really important that you say my passport because it marks in some ways that you are being very careful with your packing. If you were on the phone and you said to your friend, okay, yeah, I have a passport, that friend might say, a passport or your passport? You should really check. Actually, this is interesting. In that situation, because your friend knows that it's important for you to get on the plane, instead of them saying, you might miss the plane, they can say, you might miss your plane, because they know that you think that it's important to get on the plane. Here's another one for you. No, my black bowl! Now I only have one more. Meaning number 3 is when it's a ritual that you do regularly. Oftentimes, this is also something that's important, but it's not always the case, so I wanted to make it its own 3rd meaning. A great example that you will hear in natural North American conversation is to say, my coffee. And you can find a lot of memes online. I made this meme just for us to show you. Here you can see it say, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. You'll see people like wear t-shirts that say this as a joke. And you're saying, it's very important to me every morning that I have my coffee. Amazingly, even if somebody else makes the coffee, but you drink it regularly, then you can say my coffee. So if you go to Starbucks every single morning and every morning a different barista is making your coffee, that's still your ritual. So you get to say, oh, I'm so glad I had my coffee this morning. And I have one more example for you. It doesn't teach you anything new, but it's so cute that I have to share it with you. My grandmother, who's in her late 80s, really likes watching soap operas, and she calls them her stories. This is very common for people her age. So she will say, I have to be home by 1 o'clock to watch my stories. Obviously, she didn't write the soap opera stories, but again, because it's this ritual that she does every day, they have become her stories. It's so cute. I think those 3 meanings will go a very far way towards letting you know when you can say my. They're going to cover 95% of situations. I'd love to hear your comments and questions below so that we can clarify this further, and check out the website. For each of these videos, there's a page on the website, and those pages are obviously much easier to update later on. So you may find that years after this video is up, there are a bunch of very important updates to check at the bottom of the article. So check out the links below to give that a perusal. That would be really great. All right, bye for now. Thanks so much for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel. That would be my pleasure. And please feel free to watch this over your dinner or while you have your coffee in the morning. I think that'd be a lot of fun. We'll see you then. See you next time. Bye.